guys, welcome back to Bellyacre's Kitchen. So today we're going to be in the kitchen a lot. It's in the afternoon already. I'm fixing to start getting supper ready, but it's also Sunday, so I'm going to try to meal prep for the week. I'm going to try to get in more of a habit of meal prepping and making menus and things like that so that it is not so hectic during the week. We went to Sam's last night and we did buy some steaks in bulk. I was pretty impressed with the prices there. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, but we were able to grab some steaks. So what I'm going to do with these today is these I'm making for supper. So I'm just going to pan sear them with some butter and garlic, probably some thyme and rosemary, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and make the entire package, and then I can put the rest in, slice it up and put it in the refrigerator, and we can always make burritos or fajitas later, or I may just go ahead and put them right into the freezer so that it'll be easy access. We can just grab them out for a quick supper, because I already have the rest of the week planned as to what we're going to have for dinner. I'm trying to be more proactive in that aspect of planning what we're going to have for dinner and also preparing as much as possible. Like today is Sunday, so I will cook that entire package today. This package, there are 12 small steaks in there. I'm going to go ahead and divide that up into six steaks in each bag and put them in the freezer. So today I'm going to also make I'm going to try to make some breakfast sandwiches. I'm going to make some sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. I'm going to get those made and put in the freezer for Rusty and our daughter for work and school. That way it'll be easy for them to just grab them out of the freezer on their way. And then I am going to be making some chicken quesadillas so that our daughter can take for lunches. I'm also going to put some beans on because I am going to make some bean and cheese burritos. Rusty loves bean and cheese burritos, so I am going to make those. I have a really good friend at work that told me that she has made these for her family, and it is, it was just a great idea. So thank you, Michelle, for that tip. So I am going to follow suit and do that as well. I'm going to marinate some chicken thighs. I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. We will have that later in the week. I have a big, huge block of cheese. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I tried this the other day. I don't have a shredder attachment for my Ninja, but I did put it in the chopper, and it chops it into these curds. And I'm going to just do that. It's as good as shredded. I'm going to stick it in the freezer. That way it's easy access whenever we need. And I also just picked up some hamburger meat that I want to get divided into probably two-pound packages. It's not going to be perfect. I'm just going to kind of cut it up and put it, divide it up and put it in the freezer. We'd like to buy in bulk just because it is cheaper. So that's a tall order for a Sunday afternoon. So let's hop to it. We'll start off with, I'm going to get the beans on because they do take about 3 hours to make. So they can be making while I am preparing everything else. And even if I don't get the burritos made today, they will be made. The beans will be made, and I can come in tomorrow after work and finish them up. So my mama taught me something when growing up. She always had beans and things, and she'd buy them in bulk and then just keep them in a canister. I have an old popcorn tin. That's where I keep my beans. I am just going to put these right on my island because I do need to go through them and clean them up to get them in to cook. So I don't know what I did, probably about 4 cups there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these beans real quick. Also, I have something really cool. Rusty bought me this for Christmas. It is a bean pot. I'm so excited. I have another friend, Megan, that was just on and on about her bean pot that she got from Mexico. The bean pots you get from Mexico are clay, and you do have to cure them. Rusty did get me just a regular glazed bean pot. I've already used it. I made our New Year's black-eyed peas in it, and it works so well, and I love it, and I'm so excited. So I'm gonna clean these beans, rinse them off, and get them to cooking because, like I said, they take about 3 hours. I know that a lot of people do soak their beans before they cook them. A lot of people soak them overnight before they cook them. I did do that with the black-eyed peas when I made those. But growing up, we had beans with every meal. So my mom always just made beans. You know, she would make beans about every third day because we did have we had a large family. And they were always feeding somebody else. So it was a large family and the extras. So my mom was making a big, huge pot of beans about every third day. She never soaked her beans. She always just cleaned them off really well and cooked them. These little half beans, you can cook those. I always pull them. I don't know why. It's just kind of my own thing. I don't like the half beans in there. When you're cleaning beans, if you've never cleaned beans, this used to be my job when we were kids. If we were getting in trouble, my mom would say, go clean the beans. So we would have to sit and clean beans. But you're just looking for little pieces of dirt and sometimes rocks. I think those are actually chickpeas or some other different kind. But you just kind of clean them out. Here's a little rock. Okay, so I got those cleaned up, got all the rocks out of them. Now I'm going to wash them very well. I don't put any seasoning in the beans until they're almost done. So as of right now, I just put the beans in. I put water in. I'm going to turn them on to about 4, medium-low, just slow, low and slow. That's what we're doing. The thing that I did forget to mention earlier that I'm also going to be making is some egg roll in a bowl for my lunches. So, and that takes about 15 minutes, so that doesn't take long. But we bought this hamburger meat. I'm going to go ahead and divide it up and get it put in the freezer so we can get it out of the way. And then I'm also going to divide up those other steaks and get them in the freezer just to get everything out of the way before we start cooking. When I put them in the freezer, is I take a freezer bag, and I close it to about the last little bit and then squeeze all the air out of it. And then I mash it to get all the air out. Again, I make sure that's sealed up until the very last little bit. And then I just roll it towards the seal and just get all of the air out of it and then seal it back. You know you're good when it's like this. Then you just unroll it again and you put it in your freezer flat. Okay, for these steaks, it's pretty much just sticking the steaks in these bags. So I'm gonna do this the same way. They all fit, single layer, woohoo! I'm gonna do it the same way. I'm gonna close the bag and just leave just a little opening, and then I'm gonna roll these up towards the hole. Get all the air out and then close the zipper. All right, so that worked out perfect. You guys, when I tell you that bean pot is awesome, look, I had to turn it all the way down to low because it was already spilling over, and look at that. Just having that tight fit, and I had to kind of vent it a little bit. Having that tight fit, it just cooks those beans so fast. I just absolutely love that bean pot. Good job, Rusty. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and that's just what my biscuits are gonna need. So I am going to get this started. So breakfast sandwiches, I have farm fresh eggs, homegrown pork sausage. These were not grown on the farm. I'm going to start preparing these eggs. So I just have a big muffin pan. These are the bigger ones. And I am going to crack each of these eggs into a separate bowl. If you have chickens, you know, right? So farm fresh eggs, you always want to crack them separately just in case. You never know what kind of surprise you're going to get. We do float our eggs, but I have still been surprised on occasion. I've just put the eggs in there. I'm just going to top each one with a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm going to pour probably about a tablespoon of water, teaspoon or so, just guess it, of water in each one so that these can poach. I am poaching them over hard so they won't be runny at all. So the biscuits, these are the good biscuits that have the chunks of butter in them, so I think they will be really good. They'll be closer to crescent rolls probably. So this is farm fresh pork sausage. You know what, let me spray this first before I get too crazy. I did work at a group home for a short time, for about a year, and they made a lot of their food in the oven, like sausage and bacon and things like that, and I really did like that because it kind of frees you up to do other things. So this is set to 350. I've got my sausage patties made. Now these probably will, they may get too much, have too much fat and leak out, but I do have a pan. I don't know if you can see that. I always keep a pan in the bottom of my oven just for that purpose. If something leaks out, it will fall in there. I'm gonna set my eggs right there on top and my biscuits right there on top. All right, so before I get started on those chicken quesadillas, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up this cheese. Again, I don't have the shredder attachment for my Ninja, but I did just chop it up the other day and it does chop down really nice. All right, so there's the consistency. If you're wanting to melt cheese quickly or whatever, this works in a pinch if you don't have a shredder or don't want to hand shred. I'm actually going to take this cheese that I'm going to use today and I'm going to mix it with this taco blend cheese pre-shredded that I have, because that's the kind of cheese I'm wanting to use in the quesadillas. But I also want to use some of this Colby Jack just because I think it will make it nice and good and melty. I do have this little griddle, cast iron griddle that I'm going to start heating on the stove, because I'm going to go ahead and get the chicken breast out. These are just little chicken tenders, so they're already cut down, but I am going to pound them out a little bit so that they cook faster. Saran wrap here. Then I'm going to use my attitude adjuster. All right, so I got those smashed thin. Now our daughter does not like a lot of seasonings, so I am just going to do salt and pepper on these. The taco blend cheese does have some taco seasoning in it, so I'm going to leave that to kind of season it a little bit more. All right, so I've got this griddle nice and heated. I did go ahead and spray it. It's not really been seasoned. So I'm gonna put those three on there and just let those cook down. It won't take but a couple of minutes. Okay, I do like to go in and flip the sausage over just to make sure it gets done on both sides. Those did shrink down pretty good, but it's all right. I may have needed to do 2 pounds. Smells amazing. Our eggs are still cooking, and our biscuits are just about done. I think those look done, don't you? Yeah, those look good. Biscuits are done. I am going to go ahead and move this sausage up with the eggs. That sausage is about done too. I do like to take the biscuits off the pan so then that way they can start cooling and not just keep cooking. So remove them from the heat. I'm going to go ahead and start sauteing some ground pork in this because I am going to make some egg roll in a bowl. Olive oil in the bottom. Okay, I can smell my olive oil getting hot, so I know that I can go ahead and dump my pork in. This is just ground pork. It does not sausage. It doesn't have anything in it other than ground pork. And I am doubling the recipe, so I am going to use 2 pounds of ground pork. All right, we're going to check the breakfast again. That sausage is done. Okay, so this pork has it's still pink, but not extremely pink. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my garlic and other things so that it all kind of cooks together. So 2 pounds of pork. I've got some minced garlic here. Just makes life a little bit easier. I did buy some peeled garlic yesterday at Sam's, so I do want to mince that and some of that too. Then I'll just have my own. So 2 whole tablespoons of garlic. You guys, I love garlic, so I am very generous when it calls for garlic. So I'm going to mix that together. And then it says 28 ounces of shredded cabbage or coleslaw mix. I just use coleslaw mix because then I can get the carrots and the 2 different kinds of cabbage and the carrots in there. So I'm not even going to drain this. It's really not that full of grease. Plus I'm going to be adding some extra oil and stuff to it. Now cabbage does cook down fairly fast, so you may have to do this in waves, like put some in there, cook it. I like a lot of cabbage, so it's going to be okay. I'm going to chop it up a little bit more so I can move it around. Make some room for a little more cabbage. And like I said, as this cooks down, it'll make more and more room. I'm going to check on my eggs again. Some of these. Oh yeah, those yolks are done. Oh, they're done. Okay. Okay, my cabbage is really cooking down. I could put the lid on this and it'll make it cook faster. Just trying to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. That's why not draining it works really well too, because this cabbage will absorb a lot of that and it keeps it from sticking. I do like to use my stoneware for bacon because it just seems to cook more evenly. So let's see. This, again, this is homegrown bacon. It is right off the farm. So it's the Yum Yum. I thought we were out of this, and we went out to go get some ground pork out of the big freezer, and we found this, and then just now Rusty brought in some ground beef that we had out there. So apparently we didn't look real well, but we did find this bacon, so that was nice. Okay, I put all that could fit on that. I'm going to go ahead and spray this and put some more bacon on it. All that bacon in the oven to cook. And then these last 3 slices I will put in a bag right in the fridge, and we can use them later. This cabbage is really starting to cook down. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding the soy sauce and the different things in here. A 1/2 cup of soy sauce. And this is why I don't put salt or pepper in it. And then I'm going to do, what's a teaspoon? Yep. I'm going to do 2 full teaspoons of ground ginger. There we go. Sometimes that's a little hard to get out of there. Gonna cook all of that together for a little bit. Oh, it smells so good. Already smells like an egg roll. It makes my mouth water. Mix it all up. Whew. Don't make a mess, Rachel. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. That is going to make plenty. And that is very keto friendly. So now we're at the point where we're just putting things together. My comal is pretty much warm because it's been back there by the where the oven kind of the heat rises from the oven. But I'm going to go ahead and turn that on to probably medium-high heat. So on my gas stove, that's at about 6. I'm going to check on my beans here. They are doing really nicely. I just want to always check and make sure that they are not sticking to the bottom or anything like that. It's warming up. I'm running out of room here. I'm going to go ahead and chop up this chicken. We're going to start assembling these quesadillas. And I'm just going to cut these up, like dice it up, just so we can make sure that we get plenty of chicken in those quesadillas. Again, the only thing I put in this chicken was salt and pepper, but the cheese does have taco seasoning in it, so that's going to help season. So that's plenty of chicken. I am going to save 2 of these chicken breasts, and I'm going to put them in the refrigerator so we can use on salads later if we would like. So I'm going to make a little bit of a well. It's kind of hard to do in here. But because I am doubling this, we are going to do one egg at a time. 1, 2. Okay, cook that egg in. I may have let my cabbage cook too much, but it's okay this time around. Okay. Then I'm going to take this sriracha. I'm going to put an entire tablespoon. Remember, I am doubling this recipe, so a tablespoon and a spoon, teaspoon. I think there was a little extra in there, but get that little bit extra kick, and that just, and then I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of, where's my sesame oil? So I'm going to do 1, 2, and the fire, it's already turned off, so that's really just kind of tossing that. I almost feel like I should have added more cabbage, which I always can. If I want more of a crunch, I can just add a little more cabbage. It'll continue to cook. I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of this cabbage that we put up. It won't cook down as much as the rest of it did, but it will give it a little bit of that crunch that I kind of really like when I'm eating a egg roll. Get all of that mixed together. Okay, so this egg roll in a bowl is done. I just have to spoon it out into separate little containers and put them up for lunch, and then I could freeze some of it as well if I wanted to. But right now I'm just going to let it sit there in the pot and cool off since it is already turned off. But that's as easy as that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting these quesadillas together and getting them cooking. So I do have my cheese that I combined. I combined that Colby Jack, and then it's combined with this taco cheese. So I don't want it to spill out. That, put a little bit more cheese so then that way it will all stick together. Fold it in half. Put it right on my comal. Hold it down a minute. And then I repeat the process. The trick is your comal needs to be hot, but you don't want it so hot that it's cooking your tortilla and not melting your cheese. So you do want to check on that often. Yeah, that's cooking my tortilla and not melting my cheese. So I do want to turn down my clamato quite a bit. Quesadillas are a messy business, but they are so worth it. Kind of a cheater trick here, since my oven is on and that heat is rising, I can take this off, set it here, and it's still going to melt that cheese, but not overcook my tortilla. Oh, yes, that's perfect. Always turn towards the fold. Turn towards the fold. That way you don't spill your stuff out up the middle. Ooh, our bacon on the bottom is done. Bacon is done. This is why I like to make bacon in stoneware. As you see with the metal, it cooks very, very fast, makes it crispy, and makes them a lot smaller. Where in the stoneware, it tends to keep not shrink down so bad. Put that chicken in a small bag, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop it right in the freezer. It's already grilled. It's beautiful. We can use it in salad, or if I just want a snack, I can always warm up some chicken or make a sauce or something to just put on top of that. That'd be great for lunch. I'm going to go ahead and put a date on this since it's cooked. This shredded cheese, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the freezer. I'm going to date it. Today is January 22nd for us right now, and this is our oldest son's 22nd birthday. Happy birthday, Amos!
Happy birthday, Moo!
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and date these bags before we put the sandwiches in them. You want to grab the sliced cheese? Rusty has come in to help me. He's so awesome that way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to go ahead and, or I'll have Rusty go ahead and date those. Grab a spoon and put these all the way around. I don't know if you guys can see these just coming right out of there. Of course, I tell you that, and then that one's gonna fight me. But the yolks are done all the way through. So I think we just get an assembly line going here. We will do cheese on bottom, and then a piece of sausage, and an egg. You want cheese on top?
Yeah, that's fine.
Should I cut the cheese and then put one on bottom, one on top? So I'm just gonna put that all together. And then it'll just go right in the freezer. Again, I'm not real worried about frostbite because they get eaten so fast. All right, so looking at these beans, they're getting closer. We probably have about an hour left. So I'm gonna go ahead add some hot water into that so I don't lose the boil too bad. And then I'm going to open up these ham hocks and see what they look like. Inside. So normally right here is whenever I would put in manteca, but since I'm doing ham hocks, I'm just going to place one in there, maybe two. I don't know, they're quite big. I can only fit one ham hock in there.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna close that up, and then these, I guess what I can do is maybe we can make some ham bone soup.
Ooh.
With ham hocks.
Yeah.
So Rusty makes some amazing ham bone soup. He got the recipe from one of our good friends, Megan. And I think that would make a really good ham soup. Because y'all, look at these ham hocks. They are massive.
I would not call that a hawk.
That's what they're called in there, ham hocks. Check our bacon. Woo, yes, our bacon is done. I am going to go ahead and just put all this bacon together. See how much nicer, like the bacon stayed together a lot better, bigger, didn't get as crispy. I just really love the stoneware for making bacon. I'm going to set all that bacon aside. I may sneak some of that bacon into those burritos that I make later. To do that sink full of dishes, but first we will do it like this. Oh, those are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I need a new pizza cutter. I think I've been saying that for a minute, haven't I?
I think so.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right. These are perfect. They'll be really easy for her to grab and just throw them in the lunch bag. And then she usually has a bag of chips or something with her as well. So, right into the freezer those will go. All right, and so for me, pull this out of here. I will probably eat this all week. I do have some salad in there too that needs to get eaten, but I'll probably eat salad with dinner, supper, mainly. So that's 4 days worth of lunches for me. I can, I'll grab something else for another day. So 1, 22, 23. Where is, I thought I had, oh, I've got one more. Woohoo, here's lunch for all week. And you guys, I do not mind eating the same thing over and over. Actually, it does kind of help when you are trying to lose weight. If you kind of measure out your calories or carbs or whatever it is, and you continue to eat the same thing over and over every day, that does kind of help. I do want to make the bean burritos, but I may not be able to make those until tomorrow because my beans are still cooking, and it's better to kind of let them set overnight, and so then that way all your flavors will marry. So I will probably do that on another video. I may do that tomorrow night. There's one more thing that I do want to prep, is a chicken marinade that I'm wanting to do a crock pot meal one of the nights. I do have planned for the whole week. So tomorrow night I want to do the crock pot chicken that I'm wanting to make, and I'm going to make the marinade here in a second. And then on Tuesday we're going to make pulled pork sandwiches with that pulled pork that we had left over from the chile verde video. You can see that right here. We had some pork left over, so we're going to use that and just add in some barbecue sauce and have some pulled pork sandwiches on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, I'm referencing my calendar over here. Then on Wednesday, we're going to do some garlic butter fried chicken thighs. They won't have breading on them, but it's going to be amazing with some mashed potatoes, probably. I don't know, some roasted green beans, we'll see. And then on Thursday, our daughter, she is starting to cook more, so she wants to be more involved. So she will be deciding what she wants to make on that day. And then Friday, we're going to have the leftover chile verde that is in the freezer from that same video. So we'll probably just have some chile verde burritos that night. So we're planned for the week. Let's go ahead and make this marinade. Entire marinade right here in this bag. I'm not going to use a separate bowl or anything. I'm just going to pour everything together. Right, so we're going to do this marinade. It's something that I found on the internet, so we will see how we like it. It does call for 1/2 cup of olive oil. I did just realize that I am out of olive oil. I have just a tiny tad here, but I do have I'm going to dump that in there. I do have some of this garlic infused canola oil that I got through Pampered Chef. I'm going to add it, and I'm out of it. Woo. Let's finish all the oils in the house. How about it? Who's game?
Let's do it.
All right, so we'll finish it off with some good old-fashioned vegetable oil. So, I mean, really, with a marinade, you want oil and you want acid. So we just got a mixture of oil. We'll see how this works out. We also want 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar. I have some white wine vinegar that I really like to use in marinades. So I'm going to top that off so we can get to the goodie. 1/2 cup of that. You can also use apple cider vinegar if you are in a pinch and you don't have balsamic vinegar for marinades. It works out well too. And then we're going to need 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Seems like a lot of stuff here. Quarter of a cup of Worcestershire. Quick, how do you say it?
Worcestershire.
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 Worcestershire. We need 1/8 of a cup of lemon juice. I went to buy lemons today because I like lemons in my water. Y'all, lemon is expensive right now. So we're gonna make do with just some lemon juice. Lemon juice. And then 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Uh-oh. That's not good. I thought this was one of the ones that stands, but apparently not.
It's supposed to. They don't understand, right?
Okay, so 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. So I'm going to turn this over. Now I have my homemade brown sugar. I do have to come in and mix it. I think I put too much molasses in it. I do like dark brown sugar. So sometimes I go overboard with my molasses, but you can always just remix it. I'm just using all of my everything, aren't I? It may taste a little more molassesy.
Molasses-y?
Yep. All right, so brown sugar. Okay. 2 teaspoons of dried rosemary. So in this little bottle, I have rosemary that was grown here and dried just dried up on the line. So I'm gonna crumble that. I'm gonna say that's 2 teaspoons. I'm not gonna try to measure that. And then brown mustard. I'm always trying to mark out and write. I think I'd get my label maker out or something, you know. Who has time for that, Rusty? Who has time?
Not I.
So I've got some brown spicy mustard that I'm going to use here. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of that. Ish. You know that if we don't like this, it's going to be like, oh, that recipe was terrible. And it's like, oh, well, we substituted this for this and this for this. Let's see. We also need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Now, when I'm doing marinades, I do like to use kosher salt. 1.5. And then I am going to do a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm not going to measure that as either, but this is the restaurant style coarse ground. Probably more than a teaspoon, but we like ground black pepper. Then it also calls for 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. I'm not going to put garlic powder in it. I'm going to go ahead and put some of these fresh peeled garlic that we bought at Sam's last night. This is the coolest thing. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to go ahead and put 4 of those in there. I may separate this up and freeze some of it and also chop some of it up. Just mince it really small and put it up. So that's our marinade. Let's go ahead and seal it, and then we're just going to work this all together. All right, so that smells really good. So I've got some skinless chicken thighs here. I'm only going to make half of this in the marinade 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So I'm going to put 9 of these in this marinade. And the other 9 is what I'm going to use to make the garlic butter chicken in a couple of nights. These are boneless, skinless chicken thighs. A lot of times you can buy these a lot cheaper than you can boneless, skinless chicken breast. So, and it works just as well in the crock pot. So I am going to seal that, and then I'm really going to work that together. Leave the air in it, so then that way you can move that around. And once you've got them coated really well, you can let the air out of it. Ooh, I almost let the juice out of it. And then we will just lay that in a pan. Just lay that in a pan. That way if it does spill any of the goodness, it spills it right in the pan. And we will stick this in the refrigerator until we are ready to cook it.
Put in the icebox.
So Rusty and I were having a conversation about different things and different dialect, I guess is what it is. Like, where are you from and how do you say things? So I grew up calling it a refrigerator or a fridge. Rusty grew up calling it an icebox. I grew up calling it a vacuum cleaner. Rusty grew up calling it a sweeper. There was one other one. What was it? Well, we've discussed dinner and supper over and over.
On our other channel.
On our other channel. So, do you say dinner for supper, or do you say supper, or when is dinner? Is dinner lunch? These, I'm just going to, I didn't put anything on them because I'm going to fry those one of the nights. Fridge. Please. All right, you guys, so we're going to wrap up this video here. We didn't get the breakfast burritos done, but we did get a lot of prep stuff done. We'll get those done tomorrow. So let's recap. We got egg rolls in a bowl. We've got those done and packed for lunches, and then we even had some extra to freeze. We got a chicken marinade in, so then that way we can just throw it in the crock pot in the morning and we have dinner for tomorrow night. Just have to make the sides when I get home. We have quesadillas made for our daughter's lunches. If she decides that she doesn't want leftovers, she can always grab a quesadilla as an alternative. Or even if one night we have something that she doesn't like for supper, she can grab a quesadilla for an alternative. So we also, let's see, we also shredded up the cheese, chopped up the cheese, shredded up the cheese, same thing. Put some in the freezer. We cooked a whole bunch of bacon that I'm also going to put in the freezer, just so then that way we have already made bacon if we need it for anything. We made breakfast sandwiches. Yep. So we've got sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits in the freezer. So, I mean, I'd say it was a pretty successful afternoon. Right now I'm going to go ahead and wash these dishes that are in the sink. We only have one sink full of dishes because we washed as we went. Rusty was awesome and he helped me out with that also. And we're going to clean everything up. I'm going to get the steaks made and get some sides or something in the oven. And we're just going to call it a night. You guys, thank you so much for being here. We're probably going to do more of these type of videos where we are meal prepping. I think that would be good. We may even start doing 2 videos a week, just so then that way we can focus on one recipe, like a single recipe, say on Saturday, and then maybe Wednesday put out our meal prep for the week. Yeah, so we may have to start doing that, and that way we're not getting too far behind or, you know, too far ahead. Anyway, I hope you guys like our videos. If you do, please hit the like button.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
Yep, share with your friends.
Leave us some comments. Tell us what you guys think of everything that Rachel has been doing here today. It smells amazing in here. But most of all, don't forget to smash that bell and get notified of the next new video when it comes up.
Yep, and also you guys go check out MT Homestead. Tell them we sent you. Love you guys. God bless.
See ya.
Don't worry, guys. I didn't make them starve. We did get their supper done. Oh, those steaks look amazing. Frying up these green beans right in the steak drippings. I think supper's gonna be amazing. God bless you guys.